welcome to episode 22 of Conversations with Keasha. The premise of this interview series is to share insights through organic conversations that may help the participants, meaning me and my guest, and even more so those who tune in, who are listening, to inspire you, to educate you, and to open your mind to think about things in a new way. So if anyone leaves this experience of Conversations with Keasha thinking, wow, I never thought of it like that before, then I've done my job and served my mission to help you expand your mind and see that there are multiple possibilities in this world of how things can come to fruition, and especially the possibilities for you and how you can lead a life that is full of purpose and joy and freedom and flexibility. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome my guest on. Today, we're going to be talking about the must-haves for either starting or scaling your business, because these are the two times in the entrepreneurial journey that can be the most tricky. So I will bring Roni Silberman on. I know Instagram is going to continue to share with people that I'm live, so that'll be cool. I accepted, so let's.
Hi, Keasha,
I can hear
me?
you. How you doing, Roni?
I'm great. I love how you use my maiden name. I don't know if my husband would be happy about
Oh,
that. But, Roni, yeah,
I'm McGuire.
Yeah, but I still have that on my LinkedIn profile. So I am Roni McGuire, and I have been for almost 30 years. But my maiden name is my middle name, because I
was still a part of you, so no hard feelings, husband.
Exactly. But if you look for me now, mostly you'll find me as Roni McGuire. And, so thank you for having me, Keasha. And I'm a business and manifestation coach, and I'm excited to join you today. And let me know if you want to, start with any.
Well, now that we got your name situated, I'd love you to, share a little bit more in a couple of sentences in terms of what's important to you, like what you stand for, who you help, and why it matters.
Okay. So as I said, I'm Roni McGuire, and I'm a business and manifestation coach, and I help female leaders and entrepreneurs start their businesses and scale their businesses and go through, and leaders in corporations too. I help all of them. I was a former Wall Street executive, and so I bring that real business experience. I worked in many of the bigger Wall Street firms, including Fortune 500 companies. I had a large team, a multi-million-dollar budget. I was a multiple six-figure earner on Wall Street. So I bring all of that to the table. I've negotiated large-scale contracts and implemented large-scale technology plans for a very big company. So I have that side. And then I have my other side, which is my woo, spiritual, energetic side. And so I created something called the Motifesting method, which is my way of teaching you all what I've learned over the years of doing all these wonderful experiences in my business and in my personal life. So I combine, the business strategies with the magic and energetics, and Motifesting stands for, the M is mindset and motivation. The I is imagining, having a very clear vision of what it is that you want to do is super important, whether you're starting your business or scaling your business. And then there's the F for focusing, because, hey, we can imagine everything we want. We can have a beautiful vision board, which is something that I do in my workshops. But if we don't get focused on what is important to us specifically and start taking action, which is the T in Motifesting, we won't manifest what we want. So there's a little bit of everything in there. We need to have that vision, clarity, kind of tap into the energetics, and then we have to have real business steps that we take to move forward. And, it's a combination of being present, knowing who you are and what you want, and then taking action from that place of knowing.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I'm all about that manifesting and motifesting approach to life, because I feel like it's something with having the practical and the strategy and the foundation, and then allowing in the flexibility of the energy flow, and of course the vision, and trusting the timing and process of things. I think that is so impactful. And so you, and helping women guide them through that process, is beautiful. I just wanted to make a note that your reception is you're like freezing a little bit at certain points. So I could hear you fine, but picture wise, like your picture is free.
Okay. Yeah. That I'm not sure about. I have full signal. I'm on my kind of local Wi-Fi, so hopefully I don't know if there's anything else I could do about that. So yeah, but you're clear to me, so that's good. So anyone out there, let us know, if you're having any trouble hearing, or hopefully you'll, can always watch on the replay or see.
Okay, so let's hop into it. So so you and I were both at an event yesterday where there were lots of business women locally. To anyone who's watching, we live in San Diego, California, in the North County area. Yep. And so we attended this business expo, an open house, and there were a lot of women that came in various areas of business. And I think that's always so interesting because there are different questions that come. And of course, I feel like, so there's the beginning, starting the business, and there's certain challenges with that. There's certain common things that people run into or may be doing, could be doing differently. So I want to talk about both of those, because this is about the starting the business and then the scaling, which presents its own different set of
challenges. Yeah, they're different for sure, but there can be a little overlap, because even when you're scaling, those foundational pieces are something you have to kind of retake a look at sometimes if you're running into some challenges, right? So they're different, and then there's overlap. So we can talk about that. So let me know where you want to start.
Let's start with those who are starting, who are just taking that step and actually have been putting themselves out there. Like, where do you find the common challenges lie in terms of the systems? Or
honestly, there's so many, but I think the kind of words that pop up over and over again are people start feeling overwhelmed and stuck, because there's a lot of messaging out there. As we know, at all levels of our business, there's so many people out there who want to sell us things and teach us things and tell us what to do. And so, especially in the beginning, I think I followed this path, and I know you followed this path, right? We start like watching the free master classes, and we start, maybe investing a little bit in some courses, and we start trying to figure out what it is we want to do. And the first thing that happens is we want, most people are starting a business because they want to, entrepreneurship especially, they want to follow their passion, their dream, but they also want to make money. But they often have trouble, kind of niching down who they want to talk to, because in thinking that they want to, make money in the business and be profitable, they think that if they leave somebody out, they're going to miss out on business. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that people have when they start their business. I'm sure you work on this with people as well, with the aspect that you focus on. And so one of the things I say over and over again, and it happens too, even when you scale, because sometimes we lose our way a little bit or we need to pivot, is we find that our messaging is, it's the radio station analysis. Like, if we try and talk to every station at the same time, or listen to every station, it's not possible. It's fuzzy, right? But when we tune into the exact station that we want to listen to, then it's very clear. It comes through crystal clear. And that's the same thing with your messaging. So when you start a business, you need to figure out who is your niche, and that's what we hear that all the time. What does that mean? It's like, who is the actual specific type of person you want to help? It could be, is it women or men? It could be both, but it could be that they're in a very specific, they're having a struggle, that you can help them with. And when you speak directly to them, and so for me, it's female entrepreneurs and leaders. It's very clear. Now, I do work with women who are in different stages of their business, but they find me. It's clear. And they usually have, there's a common struggle that people have, but especially women, that's who I'm working with, is usually they lose confidence at different points, no matter where they are in their journey, so that, people feel feel overwhelmed and stuck at all stages of entrepreneurship and leadership. So that's one of those common threads I was talking about. But for the people just starting out, first thing, you need to get very crystal clear on who it is you're serving, and don't be afraid to niche down as much as you can to say, you know, like I work with mothers who are starting businesses or that are between the ages of 30 and 50, you know, that because those people will find you then. You know, if you're saying maybe it's men, maybe it's, you know, people who aren't moms, there's a very specific language that will resonate with them, because you'll find when you talk to them, and something else I recommend 100% when you're starting your business is doing market research. You need to find, once you niche down and you say, okay, I know I want to work with mothers that are between 30 and 50 who are starting businesses, then you're going to want to put together a few questions and find maybe 2 people who you think would be your ideal client that fit into that category, and have a conversation with them. Just say, hey, can I borrow 15 minutes of your time and answer a few questions? Can you help me out? And I've never had anyone say no to me. I did this when I was starting my business, and I recommend it to my clients all the time. No one says no.
Right.
People want to help, you know. And what you'll start finding is you'll hear the common struggles they're having. You'll hear the words they use. And when you create your messaging to talk to them, whether it's in an email, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's, you know, on Facebook, whatever platform you feel comfortable showing up on, they'll recognize those words as the words that they're using, the feelings that they're having, and they'll say, that's my person, that's my guide who's going to help me start my business.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, perfect stopping point. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So so let's just establish this. Yeah, at any level of your business, I think it's just the process of evolving, and where the confidence and like, whoa, you know, maybe you feel a bit wobbly at certain points because you're growing and you're stepping into new territory. You're stepping into the unknown, and that will always create a bit of resistance at no matter what stage of your business. And of course, it doesn't mean that you stop. It just means you get support to help with perspective and reevaluate how you're going about things, and so that you can keep moving through that. And so I think it is important. Your messaging, absolutely. I used to be a copy. I used to only offer copywriting services. Let's just say that, and still work with folks with messaging, and that's so it is important. I actually had more recent conversations with folks who schedule calls who are just as you were saying, like, I know they don't want to because they're afraid that they might miss out on something, but it's just the opposite.
Yeah,
you must, so people can be understanding that you are here to help them specifically, and we are not meant to help everyone, right, or work with everyone, and so that's why niching and understanding who your people are and who you want to work with is important. Another thing that you said is that market research piece. It's so funny because when Roni and I met each other like probably 2018. And I mean, we're friends now. I hired her. She was my coach for a while. And one of the things that I liked was the market research piece. And that is so, because in this works with whether you're introducing and want to gauge interest in a program, or want to actually really define who the people are, so that you can, again, get the words that they're saying, so that you can, I say, create language that lands. And so can you speak a little more to that, the market research part, and the reasons why we would do it, and the variety of ways that we can do it?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, like, my favorite way is to get on a call with someone and really just have a heart-to-heart, because here's another thing you'll find out that can magically happen. And I didn't know this when I did my first market research call. When I started doing it, someone might hire you because you're on that market research call. Because as you're having that conversation, or that convo, because we're on convos with Keasha, they may right away realize, wow, she knows what my struggles are. These questions are really hitting home. That's what happens when you have good questions to ask about what you're trying to deliver. they might recognize you as their guide right on that market research call. So a couple of times it has happened to me. I haven't done market research in a while in that way, but when I was starting out, that people actually Venmoed me and signed up for my program. So that doesn't happen all the time, but it can. So the other thing I would say to everybody, especially when you're starting out, but we need the reminder more later on, be prepared for the yes always, because the other thing that happens, a little off topic, but in entrepreneurship, is we sometimes go in thinking this is going to be hard. I'm going to have to like convince somebody, or I'm going to have to be salesy. But no, if you know what you're doing, you know who you're talking to, you know what you're selling and what the gift that you're going to be giving someone, it doesn't have to be hard. It can be super easy, and they might be ready right then and there to purchase what you're selling. So be ready for that, because it can happen even when you're
What would the words
be?
What would the words be that you would say or share? Like, can you help me out? I'm looking, or, you know, I would love to talk to you to get.
Yeah, you could just say, so if you're just starting this business, I'm really working on dialing in what my products are going to be and making sure that I'm offering something that would be of value to someone like you, because I think you would be my ideal client. Would you mind spending 15 minutes talking to me and seeing if I'm on the right track? Because your input would really be helpful in making sure that I create something that would be valuable. That's huge, something like that, right? And so, and like I said, I've never had anyone say no. And honestly, the other thing, so you can end up having a client from the call. You can also end up having a future collaborator. One of my first market research calls, the woman who I talked to was super gracious. She was from Costa Rica. I met her on Instagram. That's another thing. You can meet people from all over the world. And she ended up being a guest speaker in my first group coaching program. So these market research calls are, you know, they help you formulate the right pricing and packaging in your business, because you can even ask like pricing questions, content questions, anything you want, you can really ask. Nothing's off the table. And then later you may find you might work with that person in another way. So it's just a great tool to connect and learn. If that's not for you, you can do it. If you love social media, you can take polls in say you're on Instagram, in your stories. You can ask people, hey, I'm thinking of doing this type of package or that type of package. Which one sounds good to you? What would you rather have? And people will answer those polls. Don't get disappointed if you don't have a lot of responses. You only need one or two. Same thing with market research surveys. You don't need that many. 3 is a lot if you talk to the right people. Because you'll find the common theme. If you have 3 and they're all over the place, you know that you need to niche down more. That would be a good sign. But same thing with your polls. If a couple of people answer, that's great. And the more you do things and the bigger you have a following, the more engaged your audience becomes. Over time, more and more people will answer the polls. But we all start, because we're talking about the starting place, we all start somewhere. We all start with 0 followers at some point. That's what I did, and over time, as and you want to attract the right followers. So that's another thing for new people. Just like with market research, you want to talk to the right people. You want to attract the people who really need your services into your audience. So if you have even 100 followers who really care about what it is you're talking about and what you're offering, that's better than having 10,000 who just are there because you cared about how many likes you were going to get on your post. So that's
something I covered yesterday about influencing and having influence, and really a huge part of influence. There are mega influencers, right? And then there's macro, and then there are micro influencers. Like, I consider myself to be a micro influencer. However, to have influence means that you have the power to make a difference in others' purchasing decisions. And all of us, if we've ever recommended a restaurant or a workout place or a place to go shopping, right, or vacation. And so just remember that, folks. You don't need a whole lot of people to be able to get really great info about who your ideal people are. And again, as you do evolve, your ideal people shift as well. So that's always something to continue a practice to have to go back to whichever one works best for you, whether it's, what did we say, conversations, 15-minute to 20-minute conversations with folks. You can do polls that you can put literally in your social media, like a story, right, and get some feedback, or in a Facebook group if that's what, and then actually do surveys, like using Jotform or
exactly. You can send an email with a survey link to it. And it doesn't have to be complicated, because, we're all inundated, right? Hello, whoever just joined. Yeah. And we're all, if you have a question about starting or scaling your business, like share that with us. We'd love to answer a specific question if you have one. So, yeah, you can send out polls, and I always try to keep them short and sweet, you know, like, because you want people to answer them, and we all want, everyone, like, wants to, but we have so much coming in all the time. So, and you find what works for you. That's the other thing I always emphasize, because just because I love getting on calls doesn't mean you love getting on calls, you know. So one of the things I do, and I know we worked on this together, Keasha, is about finding what's unique to you, your unique selling superpower, right? One of the things I do is, even when you're starting out or you're further along, it's good to think about where are your clients coming from, even if you have one or two, because you'll start seeing a pattern of, you know, that it might be in person, it might be always on Instagram, it might be in Facebook. And so when you start realizing, because we try to show up, another mistake we make is show up on like 100 platforms or something, you know, we're trying so many different ways. But the bottom line is you need to figure out the intersection of where your ideal client hangs out. And that's when you niche down and figure that out, you know, who you're talking to, and where you love to show up, where you shine, right? Where you shine on the love. That's my business name, right? And so you want to show up in that place, and that's where you'll meet. That's where you'll find the gold. I like to say the intersection of those two things is, you know, where you love and you shine, and where your ideal client is hanging out. They'll hear you. They'll find you. You don't need to water down your message over platforms or doing it in ways that don't resonate, because that comes across. I mean, ultimately, you want to always be speaking from your heart. Like, what is really important? How can you bless these people? I always say that, and before I do anything, I always say to myself, how can I bless my client today? How can I bless the people who are showing up on this Instagram Live? How can I hope, and I ask for guidance, that's the woo and energetic part of it. How can I, you know, help me have the words that let me help even one person today make a difference in their lives. So that will come across in your messaging. You don't have to do what someone else is doing just because you see them doing it.
Beautiful. So you said a few things, and I want to just recap, because you said a lot in there. Okay.
Yeah. I know.
All right. So, all right, you all should have, you know, some foundations for getting market research, for understanding, getting better clarity on who your people are. Another thing Roni mentioned was also evaluating where your clients are coming from, and that will support you in exploring and identifying where your strength is and where you shine. So, do a lot of leads come through social media? Then that's something to track and make note of. Is it more in person? I mean, we're all we're more in person now, right? So are you a live and in person kind of woman or man, right? So for me, I know that I'm a great networker, and I like live and in person. Of course, social media is great too. I like both. I shine in person. Yeah. So that's where, you know, you've gotta just, again, it's a continual understanding of what we do, and then evolution, and then also where the people are that you want to work with, that where they hang out online. Let's just, so it's understanding those those components, those areas to support you. Yeah,
all of the above. Exactly. And also then, you know, remember to speak from your heart. Be you. Be authentic. And that's something you work with, right? Because the other issue that we all have, and this is the same, you know, how we can talk about people who are just starting or scaling, because this happens no matter where you are in your business. It happens to me. I'm sure it happens to Keasha. It happens to everyone. I don't care if you're a doctor, a surgeon, you went to the best schools. Everyone I work with, because I work with a broad group of people, all the way from like PhDs, doctors, energy healers, right? And they are very smart, very accomplished, done amazing things. Every single person I work with. And they forget that when they start looking at what other people are doing. Okay, they start looking around, and they're thinking, wait, maybe I should be doing this, or maybe I should be saying it that way, or maybe I should have this program. And that becomes what we call imposter syndrome. You know, it fuels that, right? Because you start looking at others, and we also think, because we see the highlight reels of everyone's business and everyone's life, that they are crushing it, they are killing it, they've got 100,000 followers, you know, they've got these programs, they're making 6 figures, but guess what? People come to me who have 100,000 followers or, you know, 10,000 followers, and they're not making any money. Exactly. Or they may have brought in 6 figures, but they spent most of it on marketing ads or hiring the wrong people, or, you know, so that's a whole other topic of that profitability once you start making money, and that's for the people who are scaling, right? So, so avoiding, you know, it's okay to look at it, but to get inspired. If someone inspires you, great. I say follow them, you know, like try things that resonate with you, that they're doing because it feels good to you. But if they're noise in your head, if they're making you feel bad about yourself and making you feel like, you know, wait, I should be doing that and I'm not doing the right thing, they're making you feel overwhelmed and confused and like you don't know what you're doing, then stop. If, you know, you can use someone too on social media. You don't have to unfollow them. You can just be like, right now, this is messing with my head and I need to kind of get clear on what I want and what I need. So that's one of the things that I really focus on with people in all different ways too, is how do you get clear on what you want? Because the voices aren't only from business owners, they're from other people in our lives, our friends, our family. And so, especially as women, I feel like this is something because we, you know, we're often moms, not always, but we're often in the role of like helping a lot of other people in our lives. And usually we end up being last on the list, what we want and need. And so we need to think about that both personally and professionally. And be clear and not let the naysayers. This is the focus in the Motifesting method is, you know, putting those blinders on. When you get crystal clear and you're really listening to what you want and following your heart, you stay focused, and it doesn't matter what you see anyone else doing. It doesn't matter, you know, what your friend from 10 years ago tells you, like, oh, isn't that a nice hobby? That's one of my favorite things, or, you know, whatever. You just are like, you know, I know what I'm doing. That's nice you think that, but I'm going to stay in my lane and do
stop
what
you there. Yes.
I'm doing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, and I talk about this absolutely too. I call it comparisonitis. It's imposter. It's all, it's different facets of the same thing. And it can suck you and drain you energetically and creatively when you are caught up in that. I call it, simple terms, when you begin consuming more than you create. So if you're creating, then that's an issue, and it means that you need to take pause and ask for guidance and feel into what you're needing, what you're feeling is best for you, because we are one of one. We're unduplicatable. So somebody, even if their stuff is really great, you can't just take some of the copying and, okay, the energy's not there. The history is, you have your own experiences and wisdom and knowledge and way of expressing. And so it is totally easy to get caught up in that, but it's even more powerful to recognize when you are. And I feel like a thing that I like that you do in coaching is making that space to allow space for we can't be all one thing all the time, right? There needs to be yin and yang. So while there's strategy and market research and knowing who you're talking to and taking action is important, so is rest and rejuvenation, right? Do you have that?
So true. Yeah. So that's part of what I talk about all the time. It's one of my major themes. And actually, I have this planning tool that I give out, and I have a 12-month. I've created a 12-month manifesting planner that combines both of these things together. So it'll help you take action. But first, what it does, and I do this in the planner, I do it in my coaching, I do it in all the different ways in workshops, and everything, is I always say start with your personal first, right? When you're planning out your week, there are things that are non-negotiable, and one of those things has to be taking care of yourself. And it happens again, I'm going to say, to all of us as entrepreneurs, as women, as leaders, we tend to get burnt out because we're trying to do too many things for too many people all the time. And so to be successful, your cup has to be full, right? As full as it can be. You know, sometimes it's harder than others, but to do that, you need to schedule time for you. And I just came back from vacation, so the way I'm telling myself now is I want to put a little vacay in every day, right? Why can't we do that in our everyday life? Like when we're away, we prioritize getting a massage, or, you know, spending extra time with our cup of coffee at breakfast, looking at the water. I was in Hawaii, or wherever you are, you know. And so why not add, even if it's just 10 minutes into your day, where you pretend you're on vacation and just like really forget everything else, turn up everything, and do something for you, or get a massage just any day of the week. Just because.
I see a
Why not?
hashtag vacay every day. You
Yeah.
can infuse vacay
Vacay every day. Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that hashtag. Yeah. Well, I came back with that, when I was on vacay, it doesn't mean you can't have great ideas for your business. They drop in, but it's because you're allowing, like we talked about, it's allowing the space for creativity. We can't force, a lot of times we have great ideas, but we have to wait for them to, kind of open up and evolve in their own time. And we have to not control how it's going to happen. And we have to give space for creativity. So on vacation, I really do say don't work. And even in your day-to-day life, if you take a day off, take the day off, really shut everything down and take it off. And then there's, the obligations we have, appointments and things, and for our kids and whatever, we've got to fill that in. Then we block out our business, right? And so, because we do need to take action in our business too. So after we have those things that are non-negotiable in our schedule, then we put in our business activities. So that's, a little bit in February, actually, I'll be talking about that in my planning workshop that's coming up, work-life harmony. Because a lot of times it was talked about in the past, it's a new thing now, harmony. Let's talk about balance, but we can't really have equal balance, right? Like you talked about the yin and the yang.
I prefer
flowing. It's harmony. Yeah. So harmony is, and that can look different every day, every week, every month, or like what, some days need to be a little more personal. Some days need to be a little more business. And it's kind of finding that flow every day and listening to what's happening inside you. Sometimes it's listening to your body. Sometimes it's listening to your mind, depending on what's happening, but really getting in touch with that. So part of my process when I'm working with people is to say, let's clear out stuff. Let's take the time. I always say it's an act of self-care to even show up for 1 hour to plan out what is your month going to look like. And when I say plan, I don't mean like we're going to make lists and lists of things we're going to do. We will do some lists, but not too much. We're going to first start with how do we get in touch with something that may be holding us back energetically or mindset-wise. So we always do that first. Then we do something called the I did list, where we celebrate everything we have accomplished. Because again, everyone starts off on all levels of entrepreneurship with everything they're not doing, they're not getting done. But let's celebrate what we did. Then we can start getting into what should we do that makes sense, coming from a place of clarity and coming from our heart, and then moving forward with intention, keeping our clear vision in mind.
All right. Well, the time has come us to conclude conversation. So Roni, thank you so much for imparting your processes and methods for helping us. And I love how we talked, basically we covered both, because there is, so the same things that the foundation wise in terms of you starting your business can always be revisited, because it's going to be necessary anyway, as you continue to evolve, grow, and scale. So thank you so much for sharing tabs. And you all can find Roni at Shine On and Glow here on Instagram. And anything else you want to say real quick, because we're over already.
Yeah. Just coming up next week, I do my vision board workshop, which I saw on February 2nd, which Keasha will actually be there. If you want to join us at the vision board workshop, which is so important for gaining clarity. It hits all the boxes: self-care, clarity, focus. So I'd love to see you there. And then the following week, I have a planning workshop, and that's to support your vision, to make sure that you're doing all those motivating pillars that I talked about. And so come over to Shine On and Glow, follow me there. I'd love to, keep sharing with you some of all this good stuff about your business foundation.
All right, you have a beautiful rest of your day.